So, guys, I've been wanting to do a video on this player called Nick Woltemade, right? I've been wanting to do a think piece on this guy. He's um he's the current striker of Newcastle. He's the current striker for Newcastle United, right? He made his move from Stuttgart in the Bundesliga, the last summer transfer window. That was when he made his move from Stuttgart to Newcastle. And I've been watching this guy this season, and this guy is incredible. Incredible. Like, I think he's been, maybe it's the club he plays for, but for some reason, he's been going, in my opinion, I feel like he's been going under the radar. And obviously, that's because for a plethora of reasons, right? So, the best striker in the Premier League at the moment is Erling Haaland, who has been the best striker in the Premier League since he moved to the Premier League. And because he plays for Manchester City, you know, he's probably been, he because of how incredible Erling Haaland is, he tends to just overshadow everything. And I think it's high time that certain players that would usually go under the radar, it's high time they get highlighted. Hence why I'm doing this video. I'm not a Newcastle fan. I'm not a tune, but I just have to give credit for where credit is due. I grew up watching strikers of a particular archetype, right? Strikers that were not necessarily tall, average height strikers like R9, Thierry Henry, Didi Drogba, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Inzaghi, Rivaldo, um, Del Piero, strikers like that. That is who Sylvan Wiltord, Van Nistelrooy. I can go on and on and on and on and on. Strikers of that archetype. But as time progresses, we've started to see a different archetype and prototype of strikers. Strikers that are literally like as big and as huge as centre backs, playing that striking position. Yes, we had players like uh, who are still playing, but players like Arnautovic, that was playing in West Ham a few years back. Obviously, one of the best of all times, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who was like I don't know, 6'3". That's a height, you know. But in recent times, we've been seeing it a lot. I think for a lot of clubs now, that is really the archetype of strikers. A lot of clubs are going for those strikers that are like 6 foot and and above. We see players like Nick Woltemade. We see players like even Gyökeres for Arsenal. We see players like who else? Manchester United's current striker. I can't remember his name, but you know who I'm talking about. So players of this, of that are big, that are huge. We have Erling Haaland, guys like that. So with this Nick Walter made, right? To be fair, I never knew about him. I never heard about his name until Newcastle were looking to sign him. I knew nothing about him. And when you look at Newcastle, I want to give kudos as well to their scouting team because their scouting team did a really good job. I'm not like I said before, I'm not a Newcastle fan. Neither am I a tune, right? But I remember just a few months ago, right, during the summer transfer window when Alexander Isak was throwing all the tantrums in the world and saying he wasn't going to play. He didn't even go to the summer what's it called, the what's that thing called where players go for during the summer to just to get fit, basically like summer camp. Basically, he didn't go with the team because he was throwing tantrums and he wanted to leave. And listen, I'm not mad at players when players want to leave, or when players go to a certain club for money. I always I've said that in the past videos that I've done. I've never I'm not mad at players. The reason is because at the end of the day, as a player, you have to to be selfish. You have to think about yourself first, because no matter how much a club rates you, when you are not performing for them anymore, you're out the door. You are out the door with no remorse. So I'm not mad at players when they look out for themselves first. When a player is doing big things for a small club, and then a big clubs and then a big club comes and that player wants to leave, I'm not mad at that at all, for whatever reason it is. I mean, look at who was interested in Isak. Liverpool. Liverpool is one of the most successful clubs ever. Do you understand? Just the extra name you get playing for Liverpool, the um trophies you are liable to win playing for Liverpool, your brand as a player goes up tenfold. So I'm not mad at Isak for wanting to leave. However, I think the way he left was kind of robbed, not even kind of, I know it robbed a lot of Newcastle fans the wrong way, because they felt like they loved him, they loved this player, and he was just piggybacking off last season. Alexander Isak, to a lot of people, was arguably like the best striker in the world. At least I know in the Premier League, a lot of people were even putting this guy above Erling Haaland. People will tell you that, yeah, Erling Haaland scores goals, but when it comes to all round play, Alexander Isak is way better than Erling Haaland. And I would pick Erling. A lot of people were like, they'll pick Alexander Isak over Erling Haaland all day, every day. This guy, people were even putting him above Haaland, they're putting him above Osimhen. And to a lot of people, to a lot of Newcastle fans, I reckon they felt like they had the best striker in the world. So for the guy to just come and be like he wants to leave by all means, he doesn't care, he doesn't, he's not going to report to training, he's not going to follow them to the summer camp and all that stuff. I'm sure he rubbed a lot of Newcastle fans the wrong way. And Newcastle also wanted to get Ekitike, but Liverpool were like, no, we are going to get Ekitike and we are going to get Erling Haaland. Then I don't know who's the chief of scouting for Newcastle, but whoever that person is, they did a wonderful job going to scout this Nick Woltemade. And like I said, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't know anything about this guy. Probably the people that watch Bundesliga definitely knew about him, because I know he was making a name for himself in the Bundesliga. But for people like me that just watch Bundesliga partially, I watch a couple of matches just here and there. I'm not really an avid Bundesliga watcher. I didn't know anything about this guy. I didn't know anything about this guy. And now the guy has come to the league, and the guy has been fantastic. He's been fantastic for Newcastle. Do you understand? And here is stats so far. So um in the Premier League so far, he's played 14 matches, 7 goals, 1 assist. So that is eight contribution in seven in eight. That is eight contributions in 14 matches. And in the Champions League so far for Newcastle, he's played 6 games, 1 goal. His stats there isn't really impressive. And in the EFL Cup, he's played he's played 3 matches and scored 1 goal. So in total, he scored 9 goals so far. He scored 9 goals so far. So he's obviously he's not doing Haaland numbers, but he's really the guy is doing well. He's doing well. Eight goal contributions in 14 games in the Premier League. That is, and we're just entering the second phase of the season. Who's to say this guy won't score more goals? Do you understand? So the guy he's been fantastic for his first season in the Premier League. Let me see his stats for Germany so far. So for Germany so far, okay. So I reckon definitely he'll be going to the World Cup. He probably will be their starting striker. for Germany. Come this World Cup, come the next World Cup, he's definitely going to be their starting striker. And I just wanted to highlight him and give him his kudos, man. I love the way he plays, his hold up play. He's not the most rapid striker, but what he lacks in pace, he makes up for in technical ability. He's strong, he can head the ball, he's skillful, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can position himself, he can, do you understand? And when as a striker you have all those components, you don't need to be the most pacey striker. You can be average when it comes to pace and you still do well. And when you play in a very physical league like the Premier League, a lot of times strikers make that transition from the Bundesliga or the Spanish La Liga or from whatever league they're coming from and struggle, and really struggle. And to see this guy in his first season really doing well, for Newcastle, doing way better than Isak. The Isak that was throwing tantrums up and down, that has now gone to Liverpool, has now flopped or is flopping. And I'm sure Newcastle fans don't miss him like that because they have a striker that is putting in good performances day in, day out. And really, that's about it. I just wanted to put a spotlight on this guy. I just wanted to put a spotlight on this guy. Um, he's young. He's 23. He's 23. He was born February 14th, 2002. So he's still young. He still has like another 10 years or whatever or more. Who knows what he'll become. See what he's doing his first season. Imagine when he really now settles and gets used to the Premier League. He might now he might now take it up a notch. So Nick Woltemade, shout outs to you, man, and big ups to the Newcastle scouting team for scouting this guy. Like they really did their thing with this one. They really did their thing with this one. The guy's a fantastic player. I love how he plays. Very technical, very very technical. Like he gives defenders horrid moments. He is difficult to pick up. He knows how to move in those pockets of space, and it's very skillful. He can shoot, he can head the ball, you know. So big ups to him, man. And really, that's about it, man. Newcastle fans, I'm sure you guys are ecstatic having a striker like that. I would be too. I would be too if I had a striker like that in my team, because at the moment Gilchrist is struggling. So yeah, that's really about it, man. I don't want to make this video long-winded. I just wanted to make a quick video and highlight this guy being a fantastic player. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. What do you think about Nick Woltemade? Do you think he would make a name for himself in the Premier League, or he will just remain like an average striker? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, guys.